Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and this is a video that is coming to you from California, first of all. So it's got that Pacific Ocean ley line, Queen Califia energy to it. Um, I've connected with a lot of different energies here, and one of the things that I'm going to share with you, that was shared with me, that I am supposed to carry into 2018. That is supposed to be my mission or message for 2018 is self-identification. Self-identification. And what the ancestors are telling me, first of all, it's always dealing with me. So this perspective is about me. This lesson is for me, to me, and I'm sharing it with you because you are a reflection of me. And the more I understand myself, the more I understand you. And the more you can look and see yourself within me, you see the universe, and I see the universe. And that is what namaste means. When you see that place in you and I see that place inside of myself, then we are one. And that is how peace is achieved and maintained and manifested throughout. Um, okay, I'm trying to get this straight before I started. I kind of meditated and um, I moved it, but I had my Spirit Mountain oil, which is a Young Living oil. So that is what is all around me and anointing me and awakening me and making me aware right now. One of the things um, is understanding I am a vessel. This body has been, this is the way it was shown to me and told to me. And I think it's so cool that just like a spider spins a web, okay, that is what my body is. My body is that web. It has been spent or weaved together by the ancestors, by my ancestors. This body that I am in right now is a unique design, but it's based upon all the genetic and DNA and stardust and everything that comes from me, through me, from my source. And, excuse me, I'm trying to get myself grounded. Um, One of the other things that is coming to me is that I am more um, beginning to understand and understand and accept my body, my physical body, my fleshly body. My spiritual body is intact and it is evolving. My emotional body is intact and it is evolving. My mental self is intact and it is evolving. However, my physical self, like I said, is a result of that ancestral weaving and the result of my body right now, the condition of my body, the shape of my body is based upon my choices of how I've fed myself, of how I've exercised my body, of how I've taken care, what I've put into it, you know, and how I've taken care of it. I've always been more into the spiritual and the mental and the emotional side of myself rather than the physical. And for many, it's quite the opposite of that. They've been always more into their physical than their mental, emotional, or spiritual. And beloved, we are all over the place as we should be. We are diverse beings. We have all have our webs, our web bodies that we are working on that are unique masterpieces. Okay, and we have to be appreciative of these containers, these vessels, these fleshly bodies that give us substance, that allows our spirits and our emotions and our mental thinking logical selves to have a house. This is the house for it. And this house was, like I said, engineered by all the ancestors that came before me. And this is the message that I am receiving. This is what I did a little blurb before about um, me losing my breath, having it taken away from me, and falling off of this stool that I'm sitting on right now, and having the ambulances come for me. And while I'm having this outer body experience, I'm being told that I'm being reset to ground zero. And like I said, I had no idea what that meant. And I am learning and integrating, and I'm so grateful for those who are helping me to understand what that means or what they feel that means to them. And so, beloveds, I just want to keep um, getting deeper and deeper into this. And again, it is very much ancestral. Um, I was dreaming last night. I had my grandsons both sleeping with me last night. It was their turn. um, but that masculine energy that was there with me, and just that was present, it gave me so much. And as I look upon each one of my grandchildren, and my daughter, and my son-in-law, and everyone else who is around, I am looking at the individuality. I am looking at the strengths. I am looking at the things that need to grow, the evolution that needs to take place on so many different levels, and the work that is being done, and how much and how far we have come. And that's what the ancestors want me to realize with Ground Zero. They want me to realize I am the design and in the body I am right now because of where I've come from, because of them. And what they're telling me is that I have been programmed and taught to be ashamed of my ancestors. I have been taught and programmed to be ashamed or to feel guilty or to feel some kind of negativity associated with my foundation. And if that is there, I will never be able to truly love myself. If this is programmed and weaved right along with all the everything else, if this is in my programming, I have to take it out. And like I said, being reset at ground zero, I'm understanding a lot different. My people came from kings and queens and gods and goddesses and slaves and this and that, and they were every color that there is. They were good and dark and shadowy and everything else, and all of that is woven inside of me. I am the one to carry it forward. I am the one to understand it, and as I understand that in me, I am integrating it, and that is the resurrection. That is the part of me, that knowing, that understanding of who I am as an individual soul, as an individual spirit, inside of a collective spirit, is coming back out. And in that, like I said, all the negativity that has been programmed is being erased by my understanding of myself without the outside negative vibrations or distractions or distortions that have infiltrated my sense and my knowing of who I am. I want to put that in a more, I guess, simpler a way. And that simpler way is simply, I'll use the black race for an example. The black race began in Kemet in Africa. They were, how can I say it? They were the ones who began universities. They were the ones to begin to understand the stars. They were the ones to begin to understand what the I am factor is and why the knowing of the self is so important. And I really want you to look at that, and I want you to understand that that knowing became so integrated with other ways of knowing that it lessened and lessened and lessened and lessened and lessened and lessened the knowledge of self. And with that, we started to enslave each other. We started to brutalize each other. The human, that lower vibration, that root chakra, that mudra, we lived in that. We were the primal in that. We no longer was able to climb that Jacob's ladder through that um, the chakra system and rise up and remember who we are from the celestial, you know. And with that, we lost our true identity. In this age that is upon us now, we are coming back to the to the forefront, to ground zero once again. Everything that is in place in the system, in the government, in your relationships, everything is to take you back to ground zero, for you to self identify, for you to identify with yourself, for you to ground yourself in that self, for you to know who you are and to bring that forward and to leave behind the programming, that which made you less than you, that which told you you should be ashamed because you came from slaves. You should be ashamed of the way the shape of your body is. You should be ashamed for the complexion of your skin. You should be shamed for the the distance between your eyes or the shape of your eyes or the shape of your lips. Whether you have hair or not hair. Just so many different things. Human peculiarities that have nothing to do with the spiritual you, with what makes you you. And let me give this to you because all of this has been meditating and marinating within me. The other day I was playing with my grands and I was showing them my jiggly fat. You know, the fat under my arms. The way I'm not toned. I'm losing weight. My body fat, weight, whatever, water weight, whatever. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. It always has. You can see me one day and I might be swollen and the next day and you're like, what did you do? You all sweat? No, I just the water, came off. But that is how I am learning. This outside, that's not me. It changes. It changes daily. It changes moment by moment, you know. But what doesn't change is my identity. That cannot be taken away from me. I can lose an arm and still be me. I am at one point in my life, I was 600 pounds. And as I began healing, I looked at my body and I became ashamed of it. And I felt guilty because I had let it get into this state. And everything was just negative and negative and negative. There was no self love there at all. At all. And I would take pictures and with a permanent black marker, Trinity, I hear you and I'm going to get you. Excuse me. I'm doing this. My grandkids are around. I talked to them before, but you know how kids are. But okay, getting back to this, I would blacken out my arms with permanent black markers because of the fat there, because I was ashamed of my own body. But that is no longer me. I no longer identify myself like that. I am thankful for having arms that can hold my grandchildren. I am thankful to have arms where I can do for myself because there are people that don't. And if I lost my arms, I wouldn't be less me. I would still be me because my identity is inside of me. It is not outside of me. My flesh does not make me who I am. It goes deeper than that. Excuse me for 1 minute. Kimari, Nana's gonna get you. You just wait. You think about that. Just because I'm on this video, like I said, you should know by now. Excuse me, like I said. But getting back to it, self-identity is what 2018 is going to be about. You have a system in place that wants you to be ashamed of who you are. It has programmed everything against you, especially if you are of color. Because if you are of color, you have an ancient identity that has been passed on and that is easily awoken if nourished correctly. And those, excuse my French, greedy motherfuckers do not want you to self identify. They do not want you to be a sovereign being. They do not want you to understand that you are the gold and not the dross. They want you to think that you are helpless, that you are some shepherd that can't, some sheep that can just be herded because you have no self identity, so you are a sheep. But, beloveds, if you have a sense of self, if you have an identity within you that you recognize as you, as your strength, as your foundation, as your square, no one can take that from you no matter what they do, no matter how many generations you have been persecuted or anything else. No one can take that from you. But that is what has tried to be done to us as human beings. We have been put into mental and spiritual bondage as far as not being able to self identify. And each generation that is going forward is not teaching the next generation to know itself. It's not teaching itself to understand who it is, why it is, and what its goals and missions are. Please excuse the crying in the background. It is what it is. Um, Another thing is, oh, let me pause this and I'll be right back.